How's it going, guys? Bring Your Platoon here, and welcome to another great game in World of Tanks Xbox One Edition. Today I'm going to be in the German Tier 8 tank destroyer, the Rhm Borsig Waffenträger. If I butchered that, I'm sorry. But I just call it the Borsig, Tier 8 Borsig. There you go. So this thing, very quickly, pros and cons. Pros. The greatest things about this vehicle. Its camo is phenomenal. It's like 64, 67 out of 100 scale. It's got a great damaging gun. It does 490 base damage. The gun stats are going to be from the 12.8 centimeter, not the derp cannon. I will not talk about the derp cannon in this thing. I will, however, yes I will, talk about how much greater this gun is compared to the derp cannon. Moving on. The base values for the 12.8 centimeter, the standard AP rounds penetration is 246, which is great. And if you do decide, if you do decide to dip into the APCR rounds of this gun, well, you get a whole whopping 311 base penetration, which guess what? Is plenty for tier 9s and any tier 10s you may face. For example, E100's frontal turret, 311 pen, forget about it. You're going to pen 80 to 90% of the time. No problem. But only if he's face onto you. And, oh, that was a good shot. Loved it. Sorry, kind of went off topic there. But, getting back into it. Let's see, talked about the gun stats already. This thing I put on the binoculars because its base view range is absolute ass of 360, and that's not good for a tier 8 tank. It's absolutely terrible. But the camo makes up for it, and if you put on the recon and situational awareness view range perks like I do, then it all evens out. And even when you don't have your binoculars active, your view range can still be used to outscout anyone coming in your view range. So that's all thanks to the camouflage rating. But what else? Weakness. This tank's engine is ass. It's slow as shit. As soon as you approach a hill, you will slow down dramatically. Its engine being, slow as shit. It does get set on fire a lot, and it does get damaged a lot, and does get broken a lot, and that it just sucks. Let's just say that. Just to sum it all up for you. If you get hit by arty or any tanks that fire high explosives at you, they will penetrate you, no problem. Unless they hit your gun magically and don't penetrate. But chances are, if they're firing high explosives or any ammunition, they're going to pen you. So being detected in this thing is a big no-no. You're going to want to fall back. Use bushes as wisely as you possibly can, as strategically as you possibly can. Going up over hills. Use bushes to conceal yourself, because this thing, speaking of going over hills, has fuck all for gun depression. The Tier 9 helps this dramatically, but we're not talking about the Tier 9, we're talking about the Tier 8. This thing, gun depression, is practically non-existent. You have to go over hills to look over them and expose the entirety of your tank in doing so, and then you gotta fall back. So if you're going to do that, make sure you have a bush in front of you. Otherwise, you're going to lose HP when you try and fall back. Or even worse, you're going to lose HP and your engine is going to be damaged or broken. Or you're going to get one hit by arty. Pick your poison. It's not good either way. Or any way. Every way is terrible. But, this tank is... I like it, but it's... the speed bothers me a lot. And the gun depression gets to me. I don't really appreciate it. The camo, if you get in a good spot early in the game, the camo will save your life, and it will be detrimental to you holding that flank and just winning the game outright for your team. You could probably hold off, I'm going to say 2 or 3 tanks by yourself. As long as you use bushes correctly and shit like that, and fire when you're behind the bush just far enough so that the bush covers your loss in camo when you fire, and enemies can't see you after you fire, then you're good. You're set to go, and this tank's damage output is absolutely crazy. And the reload is kind of long. It's 10 seconds. And while the Tier 9 gets the same exact gun, it has more penetration, quicker, better DPM, and more accuracy. So that's a good thing to look forward to in the next tier up from this line. But, yeah. Overall, it's a good tank. I enjoy it. If you're going to use the derp cannon, you're going to sacrifice accuracy. You're going to sacrifice... what else? Your APCR rounds, because instead of using APCR, the derp cannon obviously gets heat. And shell velocity is another good one, because you have to lead your targets a lot more when you use the derp cannon, because your shell velocity goes from, as opposed to on the 12.8 centimeter gun, it's like 1200, or it's in the thousands. And when you go to the derp gun, the 15 centimeter, it goes all the way down to like 700s. So yes, it sucks. I don't use the derp cannon because when it works out, it's great. But, oh, and another thing you lose is DPM, obviously, because the derp cannon takes fucking 17 seconds to reload, which is great. Or is it 15? It's 15 or 17. It's ass either way, but it's just not worth it. Heat fucks me over more than it helps me, and APCR is the way to go. It's just the better round to use all around. Heat sucks against spaced armor, tracks, and pretty much any angled armor. It just sucks. Unless you're facing the Swedish tank destroyers, in which case, it's absolutely phenomenal. But despite that, or besides that, it's just, I definitely prefer APCR 100% of the time over heat. So, now that the game is practically over, I can actually get to the gameplay. So right now, there is 2 Super Pershings on the enemy team, and then there is that T95E2. My first rule in this tank is to take out any tanks close to me, and primarily focus on any fast tanks, because as soon as you get outmaneuvered and you get charged, like if you get detected, there's a very good chance that a light tank is going to floor it towards you, so they can get some free easy pens. And while you're stuck there, just twiddling your thumbs and trying to spin your tank chassis around just to get a shot off before he eventually runs away, it's very, very annoying. I guess another negative to this tank would be the HP pool, but it really doesn't matter when you get auto-penned by everything. So, yeah. That's another negative. Not a lot of HP to dish out or trade with. But you're not supposed to trade in this tank. You're supposed to sneakily snipe. That's what it's great at. And if you don't use it the way it is designed to be used, well, one can only blame yourself for the negative outcomes. But moving on in the gameplay, playing it very defensively here, just trying to get up my binoculars, just to max out that view range, and trying to eliminate all the places he could be hiding. For example, if he was going over their spawn hill, which is what I'm heading toward right now, and if I were to hide in this bush, or in the bushes behind me, which I just got done hiding in, I would have seen that with my binoculars, he was going over the hill, and I would have been able to put a good shot into him. But unfortunately that wasn't the case, so I assume that it's safe to move out and relocate positions. So I go up this hill, using the bush to maximize my camo rating, just so I don't get shot going over, and would you look at that, without even popping up the binoculars, I can see him, and he can't see me. Which is great. Which means he doesn't know where I am, but I know full well where he is, and he's in that dip, and if I were to engage him one-on-one, I would probably get sniped from the back, as well as HE'd by both opponents, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to once again relocate my tank, so I can shoot into the dip from an angle he's not expecting. I imagine I can go over to these buildings in like, I don't know, J3, J4, and snipe him from there when he tries to pop up. But let's see if that works out. And in case you realized already, it doesn't. Spoiler alert. Just throwing that out there. Instead, they decide to move once again because they're tired of camping in their base, which is, by the way, hilarious. Cowardly, but hilarious. And you may have already seen that I have premium APCR loaded, and that's because I don't want to fuck around with trying to hit a little tiny weak spot from 350 meters away. If I'm going to engage that super Pershing, ideally it would be from a close distance where I can encircle him and pretty much reliably pen his front with APCR rounds unless I get a low roll from RNG, which has fucked me many times in the past, and I'm sure in the future, many, many times, but more often than not, I will be able to go right through his front with 311 average pen for the APCR. So, I see the super Pershing. I can't hit him. He's behind a building. I see the T-95E2 trying to make a move. I whale him in the side. I know he needs to be hit one more time, so I'm just focusing on him just to get another enemy out of the game, which is what you always want to do. And bam. Unless you know you're going to lose, in which case just go for high damage rolls, because, yeah. Worst case scenario, you always want to get more damage. And I don't know where that shot went, but it looks like I hit him right in the fucking turret and it didn't pen him. So that kind of set me off a little bit. Kind of set me off again, just looking at it now. But it's over, it's done. Gotta focus on the future. My super Pershing is still saying help, and I'm saying, you know, come follow me over the hill so I can actually help you, which he is over the hill, thank God. Unfortunately, enemy super Pershing pops over and just finishes him off, which is unfortunate, but not without getting shot by me, which means he needs another 2 hits from me in order for me to carry this from my team. So, knowing that, and knowing that HE can easily whittle me down to nothing with his 90mm, instead of hitting 240 every time, if he pens me each and every time, he'll do like 300 damage average, which is with the high explosive rounds. So that's 4 pens that he needs to put into me to finish me off. If he rolls exceptionally high, maybe 3. But it'd be like have to be high pen after high pen. It'd have to be 3 very high pens. So that's doubtful. So yes, 4 rounds from him into me would finish me off with high explosives. So knowing that, I'm expecting him to be over this hill, and as soon as I dip over, I expect him to be detected. But no, he ran right back to that fucking dip at his base because reasons. So good for him, knowing that his HP is low, but it's still very, very annoying for me. So I could have done what I did with that T-95E2 earlier and just gone all the way around to the buildings in J3 and J4, but I looked at the time and I did not think I had enough time allotted to do that again. So I just decided to gung-ho it. And right now you're going to see why this tank is very frustrating to play, especially when you're the only one detected, if that ever happens, like right now. High explosive round was the first thing he used on me. Did some decent damage. Second round, killed my loader. Let's see what happens with the third round. Right into me, and oh yeah, broke my fucking gun. Took me a second to realize what happened, fixed it, and penned his lower plate. No problem. Because, once again, I'm not going to aim at his fucking hatches or the lower left and lower right side of his turret just so I can pet him, when he could just wibble wobble, left and right, back and forth, to screw me over. And if I miss, or don't pen, well, that would have cost me the game. And thanks to me just using premium, I secured it for my team. And not only that, but I got a great score doing it. So, yeah. Premium ammo isn't the only thing that's needed to win a match. It's map awareness and it's the realization that, hey, if I use this type of round, there's a good chance I'm going to bounce. I better switch to something with a little more oomph to it. Like, come on. Stop whining. Get better at the game. That's all I'm going to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.